Chris Robinson here in Moreno Valley, California. Matt, Mikey Garcia was kind enough to give us a few minutes. Mikey, everybody was talking about you. Look like you could be facing Orlando Salido later this year. I read yesterday a few people were saying you might have a tune-up lined up for in Mexico, September
Yeah,
1st.
we're working on that Salido fight, right?
Okay.
Um, but my promoter and my manager think that maybe I could get something soon,
Mhm.
maybe in a week or two.
Okay.
Just something
Stay
to
busy.
get something, and more than anything, it's not like I'm not ready for Salido.
Yeah.
It's just just to get some rounds inside.
Mhm.
I mean, he got his own tune-up fight.
Yeah.
I haven't fought since March, so just to get in the ring.
Mhm.
I've been training, we've been working out. If they tell me, you know what, let's not risk the, tuna fight, let's just go for Salido, we're good. I'll do that.
Yeah.
But it's up to them really to, decide what they want to do. My manager told me that we may get something in Mexico maybe in the following week.
Mhm.
So we might do that if everything, turns out to be good for us. So
And just curious, have you fought in Mexico often,
I
or I mean,
fought there before.
what's it like fighting there? Like just the same?
The ring's the same, four corners, four rows.
Okay.
The people, the crowd is a little different sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, I fought in Aguascalientes twice,
Mhm.
and that was real neat. It was at the Plaza de Toros, which is the bullfighting arena.
Nice.
And the first time we fought there, Arce was headlining, so it was a sellout crowd.
Yeah.
Second time we fought there, Tony Margarito was there. He was the
Nice.
headliner, so it was a sold out crowd as well. It was nice to have a lot of fans, behind you. Even though we were from the States, I didn't expect them to respond so well to me, but they did. They welcomed me like one of their own. Another time that I fought in Mexico was in Mexico City. The crowd was a little different there. They maybe because I was from the States or whatever. Some of them were in favor of the local guy that I was fighting,
Mhm.
but at the end after I won, they congratulated me just as well. So I've been there before.
Nice. And you said you've been training at the Two Feathers Gym
Yeah.
in Riverside with your Eduardo, your father. How is that going? I mean, is it just the same old daily grind for you, man?
Same thing. We were trying to get, Caballero last month for the 28th, or
Yeah.
trying to get a fight, even if it wasn't him, trying to get something going. So I did my training camp here in Riverside at Two Feathers, but I would also take days up in Big Bear,
Mm.
spar up in Big Bear. Then I would also take other days to go to Santa Ana, spar in Santa Ana. Other times went to just different gyms to get sparring. But the fight didn't happen, so we just took a week off and went back in the gym. They told me about this fight maybe next week on the 1st of September in Mexico. So I said I got to go back in the gym. Same thing, every day back at Two Feathers training there.
And what has it been like, kind of working with Eduardo? Like how, like your style is a kind of a patient, kind of calculated style, where does that style come from? Is it just how you've been taught, how the boxing pedigree?
We've been taught, well, with my dad. He's always taught me and most of his fighters to be very defensive.
Mm-hmm.
And to be defensive, you got to be a little patient, to be able to counter and be able to block punches,
Yeah.
be able to see the punches coming. So that's where that patience might be from. Since I was a kid, I fought like that.
Yeah.
We can do different things. My dad teaches to do different things,
Mm-hmm.
and if the moment needs to change, if we need to change the pace of the fight, we'll do that. But I'm a patient fighter. I like to take control of the fight and keep it at my pace.
And have you crossed Josesito Lopez? Has he been training there too? I mean,
He trains there, but he trains actually in the morning.
hmm
So I haven't seen him recently. I saw him last weekend,
yeah,
but I was actually leaving when he was actually coming in. On
yeah.
Saturday, he trains like at 11.
Hmm.
I was training at 9, so we kind of just saw each other, but I haven't seen him train recently.
What do you think of his upset over Victor Ortiz, and what chances do you give him against Saul Alvarez?
He definitely gave the biggest upset,
Right.
beating Victor. He earned it. He earned that this fight with Canelo. Um, going into the Ortiz fight, he was the underdog, just like he is now, and he upset Victor. You know, he gave his fight, gave the best fight he could have offered, and it turned out well for him. He apparently broke Victor's jaw. Um, Victor decided to stop the fight, whether people say it was a good or not, decision, he still quit in my eyes, and in many people's eyes, he still quit. Whether it was broken or not, quit. You quit. But that doesn't take anything away from Jose. Jose earned it. He beat him. If he broke his jaw, even better. He could say he knocked him out. He stopped him.
Right.
And he earned the Canelo Alvarez shot. And with this fight, even though it's a bigger weight, that he's jumping up in weight, and the advantages will be again in Canelo's favor and against Josesito. You never know inside of the ring. A good punch can turn the fight around. Canelo, I don't think he's been tested real well, to the fullest. So we gotta wait and see what Josesito can do against Canelo.
And touching back on Orlando Salido, he had his pair of victories over Juan Manuel Lopez. The second one especially is really brutal, stopped him. Did you ever expect that kind of performance from him against Lopez?
I always thought the first fight, when the first fight happened, we thought Lopez would have won, or was supposed to win. But he took advantage of the opportunity. Salido took advantage. He went over to Puerto Rico, and once he hurt him, he didn't let go. He put him out. He stopped him. Second time around, we're there. We fought in the same card, so we see Lopez maybe trying to outbox him the first few rounds, and he was doing pretty well. I think the fight was a lot closer than some of the judges had it in what I thought, but he was doing better than the first fight. Lopez was. When he dropped him, and then he started getting a little confidence, and maybe thinking it was gonna be easy to put him down again, Lopez decided to stand toe to toe with him, and that's when Salido's the most dangerous. That's his game plan, to brawl with you and trade punches, exchange, and from that moment on, it was Salido's fight all over again, and this time he really hurt him. I didn't think Lopez was gonna want to engage in a fight like that. I thought he would try to stay on the outside, try to outbox him, but he ended up brawling with Salido, and Salido's hits hard. He can take a punch. Even though he went down, he wasn't really out. So that was Salido's fight again, and it turned out well for him again.
How do you make sure you don't get caught in that trap to where you're maybe not fighting the fight you want to fight, to where you're dragged into a toe-to-toe type of battle? How do you make sure you make it your kind of fight?
From my previous fights and experiences, I always try to take control of the fight early by establishing the pace of the fight and keep it at what I want it. If my opponent starts to be more aggressive, trying to brawl with me, trying to make me fight, I just have to move around a little bit faster, catch him on the way in, to have him respect my power as well, have him respect my punches, keep him at my distance that I want to have him. If I'm forced, sometimes you're forced to engage in a fight, and we've done that. So we'll step it up, and push him back a little, to show him that we're not respecting him, that we're the ones in control. And with Salido, I figure he's gonna try to brawl with me, and maybe exchange punches, trying to make me brawl. I'm gonna have to try to stay on the outside for at least the first rounds. When I can figure out what pace best fits me and better helps me for my fight.